Hey guys, welcome to another GameXplain discussion. I'm your host, Andrew Seegers, and this time we're joined by Derek Bittner and Ash Paulson to discuss the latest Nintendo Direct. So let's get started. Alright guys, so this was a pretty huge Direct actually, both in length and the amount of announcements here. They showed off, a lot of the things we were expecting and a lot that we weren't. So let's just go and launch into your guys' impressions. Like, what were your favorite things or takeaways from this Direct?
I mean, the big takeaway, of course, right away. We were curious whether they were going to save Mewtwo for the end or for the beginning. And they went right into it. They just went for the juggler with the Mewtwo, and there he was. It was a great trailer. And, of course, we got the surprise reveal of Lucas, which I'm sure makes a ton of people happy, including myself.
That's nuts, right?
Yeah. Nobody was really expecting that, just because you really haven't heard much from Sakurai at all. Mm-hmm. So that's just a huge announcement. But for me personally, the biggest announcement was definitely Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem, because I thought it was that when the trailer started playing, because they, of course, the Atlas logo and Nintendo, but showing it, that's not what I expected at all. I was expecting a crossover, but this is more like a concept crossover for it, and I'm super hyped for that game now. I can't wait to see more of it, and I don't know, this Direct made me really happy.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I'd like to point out that in our prediction discussion, I did say I had a feeling that this would be a big Direct, and it looks like I was right, because it was a long one at almost 50 minutes, and we got a lot of amazing news. I mean, of course, the big thing that stands out in my mind right now is Lucas being added to Smash Bros, just because, I mean, literally nobody saw that coming. I mean, I always did think it was a little suspicious that Sakurai needed, that many months just for one character. I know characters take a lot of work, right? I mean, and it just seemed, it felt like he could do more than just Mewtwo in all that time, and it turns out he could. He was working on Lucas as well, so that's really exciting. I know a lot of Lucas mains are happy. I don't think anyone really expected him to come back after Ness got some of his moves as custom specials, so that's super cool. I'm also really excited about Fatal Frame 5 coming to the US for Wii U, because I don't think anyone really expected that game to come out of Japan, and Nintendo of America isn't necessarily known for listening to those kinds of requests all that often, so when they announced that Fatal Frame 5 was going to come to the US, I was like, wow, this is awesome. I love that series. It's always been a great horror series in my opinion, so yeah, I'm very excited about that. And honestly, the Mario Kart 8 editions are pretty exciting to me too. 200cc is kind of a game changer for me. I mean, 150cc always felt a little slow to me in Mario Kart 8. And even though the game's still super fun, but I'm honestly I'm kind of almost as excited for 200cc mode as I am the new courses coming as part of the second DLC pack.
Interesting, yeah. That was a complete surprise. I did not see the 200cc coming, and I think it's great just in general to see the support Nintendo's giving all their or a bunch of their games now with DLC, with like the ongoing Smash support, and now seemingly Mario Kart as well. Yeah, for 200cc, I like it, but I'm also concerned that it might make the races a little bit too short now.
Sure.
They're already on the verge of that at 150cc, so yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I think it's a cool idea. It's a cool addition, and yeah, I'm eager to see how all that plays. I was surprised that they only showed the Animal Crossing track though from the upcoming DLC. I thought we'd get a much better look of the DLC, and we only got a single track. So I'm guessing there'll be more trailers coming out to showcase more of it, but
yeah, I mean, they're probably going to do the same thing they did with the first DLC pack and just kind of reveal the tracks one by one in their own kind of dedicated trailers, which I'm okay with. It kind of gives us something to look forward to throughout the month, and it's kind of cool that we're getting the pack a little earlier than we thought too, in April.
That is nice.
That was probably a big surprise for me, just how early it was coming, because we kept hearing May. So I was thinking, okay, where are they going to squeeze this in? I was expecting closer to the end of May, but having like late April, that's kind of impressive, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The other thing I have to mention really quick is that I'm loving the continuing Mega Man love over at Nintendo. Those Mega Man X and Proto Man costumes for the Mii Fighters and Smash Brothers, I'm so hyped for. I don't even use the Mii Fighters that often, but I will now because I can have one that looks just like my favorite character ever, who's X. So I just love that they are continuing to do Mega Man related things over at Nintendo. I mean, we're also getting the Mega Man Amiibo costume in Mario Kart 8 now as well,
and the Amazing Pac-Man one.
Yeah,
which
that
great.
looks amazing. The the general support, like, here's the thing, is like, we got the DLC support, which is always nice, but we're seeing also the free updates that are coming that really show how much Nintendo wants to support their games. We saw that with Hyrule Warriors, with all their constant updates, fixing problems, addressing things, and we're seeing that now with, of course, the 200cc. And I know not many people care about this game, but I love it, codenamed Steam. And they're actually adding a fast forward feature, a much more prevalent fast forward feature in an upcoming update, which is good because I hope to push as many people toward that game as possible. That you don't have to wait as long now. Play the game; it's really good.
Absolutely, that's a great thing. I think the most surprising thing DLC wise is, as I kind of expected, I figured we would see more DLC content from Smash Brothers. I did not expect them to open it up to the audience, asking what character they want to see in Smash Brothers. That is insane and frankly awesome. That is really freaking cool.
Well, and I also think, one of the coolest unspoken things about all this is that this basically confirms that, without outright confirming it, it basically confirms that Smash Brothers is going to be getting DLC throughout 2015 and well into 2016. Like, I pretty much think Wolf is a lock at this point. If Lucas can come back, so can Wolf. What
Nintendo is doing now is they're actually turning, like, each... historically they've released one of their major franchises per system, right? Like, you have your Mario Kart, you have your Smash Brothers, and now they're turning them into, like, an actual platform. Where they can just keep updating those games, which is brilliant. I love that idea. And I'm hoping that this isn't the end of it. Smash Brothers, it seems like that'll be an ongoing thing. And hoping that'll continue with Mario Kart as well. They just keep making new tracks, new characters, and keep adding even more content to it.
I think if they sell well, and we know the Mario Kart 8 DLC packs had to have sold well, why wouldn't they keep making them? I think they will. And another thing I find interesting too is that Sakurai has been pretty adamant about not really worrying about balance patches for Smash Brothers yet. Here one's coming right now. It's going to come alongside Mewtwo on April 16th, I think, for Club Nintendo members. But either way, the update with the balance update is coming, I guess, on April 16th, I think. I can't quite remember, but still.
Probably.
Yeah, but the fact that we're getting one at all completely goes against what Sakurai's been saying.
Yeah.
Well, he is tricky, so you can't really take him at his words all the time.
By the way, real quick, guys, a moment of silence for Sakurai's life.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Seriously, I mean, he kept talking about how he really needed to take a vacation after Mewtwo, and he didn't really get to rest after development concluded because of Mewtwo. But now there's Lucas, and now there's this mystery fan character vote coming, and again, there's got to be Wolf has to be coming.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, there's a lot of this really opens up the doors because we had so many people before Smash came out. They wanted King K. Rool, they wanted freaking Ridley, they wanted all these different characters. Isaac from Golden Sun. Now they can actually put those votes forward and see. I mean, could we even see third party? Could if enough people vote for Snake, could we see Snake come back? Could we? I know you want to have Shovel Knight on Ash.
Yeah.
I mean, could third parties happen, or are they going to just sort of disregard those votes?
Well, I mean, I think they would have said... I mean, Sakurai, I feel like, is the kind of guy who would have, said straight up, please don't vote for third-party characters as they are not being considered. I feel like those are probably going to take a lot more votes to actually be considered because he's been honest in the past about how a third-party character has to be particularly special and relevant to make it into Smash Brothers. But I feel like he would have come right out and said, don't vote for third-party characters because they don't count, if that's what he intended.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe we could actually make Rayman real, or Bomberman, or... Simon Belmont.
Could happen.
Yeah.
So beyond the DLC, we're also seeing support through Amiibo, and we saw a whole bunch of new Amiibo announced for Yoshi's Woolly World as well as Splatoon. And we learned that in Yoshi's Woolly World, you get basically a helper character for the single-player campaign, basically a single-player version of co-op. And for Splatoon, you'll unlock new missions as well as, I think, gear as well and weapons.
Yeah, you get gear for completing the special missions you unlock via the Amiibo.
Okay, right, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting. I think the Yoshi's Woolly World Amiibo support's kind of weak. I don't think it looks all that interesting at all.
I mean, not super interesting, but it is something that affects the gameplay.
Right, but on the other hand, I think the Splatoon Amiibo use is probably my favorite so far of any Wii U game I've seen. I think the idea of getting special missions that you can't get without the Amiibo, that you then, when you complete them, you get special gear, as long as it isn't overpowered compared to the non-Amiibo exclusive gear, I think that's a really cool way to use Amiibo, and probably my favorite, utility so far.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of the Yoshi amiibo. I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking or anything. If you don't get it, there's no big deal if you're missing out on it. But it's sort of like your most recent Cool Bits, Andre. It gives you a way to play the multiplayer by yourself.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, nice plug there.
Yeah, which is which is a cool idea. And you know what? I really don't care if that does. The functionality could be like change your color, whatever. That amiibo is amazing.
Oh, the Yoshi ones look so good. They look amazing.
Yes. I love that they're made of yarn. That's so cool.
No, I love that. Like they're not all just statues. Like they actually embrace the concept of the game. Now, speaking of downloadable content or downloadable things in general, we got the confirmation or announcement that Nintendo 64 and Nintendo DS games are coming to the Virtual Console. So, how stoked were you to see that, Ash?
I was stoked just because I knew that if I kept predicting it, it would eventually have to come true. And it finally has, and I take full credit for that. But no, it's been like, 2 years now since they originally announced N64 Virtual Console support, and it's finally here, and I guess it's starting off with Super Mario 64, which I downloaded because it was $2 for me because I have the Wii Virtual Console
I just posted
version.
a 5-minute video of it already, so...
Right, and you're saying it looks pretty clean, right?
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I don't know exactly what resolution it's running at, but it does look pretty sharp to me.
Nice. And then, I guess Donkey Kong 64 is coming next, or on April 16th, and then we're getting Paper Mario at the end of the month. So not a bad, initial trilogy of N64 games to start
Paper
with.
Mario 64 is one of my favorite games. I love that game.
Oh, it's a great game, yeah.
That definitely is a great way to start, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Interesting selection of DS games, and I like how they have a lot of different options. Like, you have the option to play the DS game just solely on your TV, and they have all your gamepad set up, and I like how they're... definitely took the control options into account when they were doing this whole emulation thing, which probably is why this took so long.
Yeah.
But the selection looks pretty good. I hope that they continue the support, and, I'm all for it.
Now, getting back to the Amiibo thing real quick, they also showed off Amiibo cards for the first time, and accompanying them is a new Animal Crossing game called Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer. I don't know about you guys though. I pretty much don't care at all about that game.
I'm a casual. I'm not even casual. New Leaf was my first Animal Crossing game, and I played it for a little while, but it didn't really hook me. So I have no need to return to Animal Crossing anytime soon. But it's cute for those who are interested.
Well,
in it.
it looks like Animal Crossing without the core of Animal Crossing.
Exactly. It doesn't look interesting at all to me.
Yeah.
I mean, same as you. I'm kind of I'm not really an Animal Crossing fan. I played the original for a little bit. I played Wild World on DS quite a bit, and then I kind of burned out on it. And then I realized, well, I don't really need to play the same game on Wii or 3DS, no matter how much new stuff they add. So this whole Happy Home Designer Amiibo card thing kind of fell flat for me. But hey, I'm happy for those who are excited for it.
I know you have to be pretty excited, Andre, for all the new information on Mario Maker.
Dude, I am stoked about that, especially because they confirmed, which I've been saying all this time, you have to be able to make your own worlds, and sure enough, you can. You can link them together. I just love everything I'm seeing about that game. They're adding even more content to it. We saw new enemies, new characters in the latest trailer. You can create your own world, so I'm a happy puppy right now.
Yeah, I thought the new trailer we saw looked great. I'm happy about the worlds. I am slightly disappointed, and I'm not that surprised. I'm not going to hold it against the game. I'm slightly disappointed we're not getting any more themes based on Super Mario Land.
I was too. Yeah, that was a little bit
Or Mario Land 2.
But maybe DLC at this
That's true,
point.
yeah, maybe DLC.
Mario Maker 2, something like that. They're just testing out the waters, getting the basics out there, so there's still possibilities.
Well, maybe they'll make a Mario Maker, 3DS version, where you get all the handheld themes.
That'd be cool.
Hey, maybe they'll make an actual Mario Paint for Wii U, since Mario Maker seems to share so much in common with it
they've
aesthetically.
gone overboard on that, which is
It's so
awesome.
cool, I love it.
I'm looking forward to the analysis to point out everything from Mario Paint in that game, because there is a lot of it, so that's great.
Speaking of classic Nintendo games, they are also going to launch their the Amiibo Tap demo thing,
That's
where
right.
you can tap you can tap your Amiibo to the gamepad and then play different parts of a classic game. And I guess you can, every time you tap it, it'll kind of fast forward to a different highlight of the game, which is kind of neat.
Now, I kind of missed that section, but I was busy, uploading stuff. Do the games tie? Do they relate to the Amiibo you scanned in? Or,
I think so.
Okay.
I'd have to go back and watch it as well, but But yeah, I think they relate to the amiibo you scanned in, and then every time you tap it, you get to play a different part of that game.
That is interesting. It reminds me a little bit of WarioWare-esque, where it's like random segments of classic games popping up.
Yeah.
If they want to sell their more unique games or lesser known games, they better up the supply of the amiibos or whatever. But I guess I haven't mentioned yet the new Fire Emblem trailer.
You're pretty stoked, right?
Yeah, that looks good. I was actually pretty spot on with a lot of my predictions for the analysis.
Yep.
Or in the analysis, the fact that we have two separate armies, the fact that you're able to pick your side and have the story go out from there. That's a really cool idea. Definitely ups the replay value, and I like how they even specifically mentioned, like, if you want the more casual side, go for this one. If you want the more difficult and something completely different for Fire Emblem, go with this side. So it definitely leads. There's definitely a lot there for all the different types of players of Fire Emblem, because they can be either really hardcore or they could be kind of casual, but they're still marketing to them, and I think it's a very interesting idea to allow the character, the player, to be the main character. That's something I did not see coming. I honestly thought you were going to be another companion, like in Fire Emblem Awakening, and it's interesting how they're embracing the concept of choice in this game. Still surprised they haven't announced the actual name for it, especially since it's still referred to as Fire Emblem IF. But not everybody knows that, because not everybody pays attention to the Japanese side, so I still got to refer to it as New Fire Emblem, because what else am I going to call it?
Yeah.
Right.
Now, actually, Derek, I have a question for you about Fire Emblem.
Okay.
I was kind of surprised when I found out that the avatar character that you customize in this game is actually the main character, instead of being a companion to the main character, like the avatar, or like Robin was, I guess, to Chrom in Fire Emblem Awakening. Now, personally, I actually find that, ironically, to take me out of the story more. I prefer not to actually be the main character. So I'm curious to see what you think of that, comparing the two.
I'm typically the same way, but if they treat this main character the same way they did Robin in Awakening, because you've played Awakening, correct?
Yeah, I played a bit of it, yeah.
Yeah, if they treat him like that, Robin felt like a fully fleshed out character to me in Awakening.
Sure.
It's sort of like the Commander Shepard thing. If you're going to give me a blank slate like in Skyrim, I really don't care about the character that much at all. It's not really. It's just I don't connect with it. But if you give me somebody like Commander Shepard in Mass Effect, or like in a Dragon Age, then I do connect, because this is I have a voice. I'm interacting. I see my actions playing out. It's not just me being silent, which seems to be the case with Robin, or was the case with Robin, and it seems to be the case with this new player character. And I think I'm going to be just fine with me being the main character in this one.
Cool.
Well, there's still one big game we haven't mentioned yet, guys, and that is Pokemon Rumble World, the biggest 3DS game coming out this year.
Well, it seems to me like Nintendo has decided that Pokemon is going to be their freemium games.
Yeah. Because
this is another one where it's free to play. You can do all this. You can buy these extra crystals. It doesn't seem to be as manipulative as Pokemon Shuffle, and Shuffle really wasn't that manipulative in the grand scheme of things, but it's still just showing them going for the free-to-play stuff, and Pokemon is a very viable target for that. Am I interested in it at all? Not really.
It's a little bit weird, though, right? That these freemium games are the ones like targeting what I would think is like one of their youngest demographics, being Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's in some ways it makes sense. In other ways, it's sort of what I don't know. I don't really have a strong opinion on it. It's just like I don't really care about free to play games, and I really don't care about Rumble World. It's just like it's basically a hack and slash. Just featuring toy Pokemon, so that's I mean it can be interesting, I guess, but it's just not really doing anything for me. It's just whatever.
Yep. Yeah, I mean I can't really pretend to care about it either, to be honest. I'm not really into free to play games that much.
Yeah, I'm not so much either, but who knows if we might be getting more of them with Nintendo going mobile now.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, I know you're super excited, Andre, since they announced all those new Streetpass games.
Oh,
that's what I was going to talk about. I'm so hyped for those. I know I'm the only one, but I am a giant Streetpass fan, and I have a lot of fun with the Streetpass feature in the 3DS. I've completely, I've 100%ed all the 4 existing games, I've gotten all the hats, so I've been really, really waiting for another update, and it's finally coming, and I will buy all 3 of those things the moment they drop.
I do like the Splatoon hat you can get now. They showed off in the footage.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Oh my god, I just realized something.
What?
Along with all the Mega Man love in Smash Brothers and the fact that there's a Mega Man puzzle swap piece, I'll bet you anything there's a Mega Man helmet you can unlock now.
That could be.
That alone justifies the entire purchase price.
and you wouldn't even care what the purchase price is, though. Like,
nope. If there's an unlockable Mega Man helmet or an X helmet, nope, don't care what the purchase price is. Done.
I will say the 2 new games do look reasonably fun. I mean, entertaining enough for Streetpass games. I am not sold on their Mi Plaza Premium, because so far all I see is like creating a VIP room for your friends and like collecting birthdays, which
that doesn't look
cares?
so hot. Yeah, I agree with you there. But there are actually 2 more games we haven't talked about yet, and they're both notable for different reasons. There's a 3DS game. We haven't talked about Puzzle and Dragon Z and Puzzle and Dragon Super Mario Bros. Edition. Now, I know we're not super excited about that game, but I do think that game was home to the trolliest moment in today's Nintendo Direct.
Oh.
Which I think probably pissed off a lot of people, because if you remember, Bill Trinan introduced it by saying something like, for fans of Mario and RPGs, you'll be really happy because there are 2 full-length JRPGs coming in the next few months, and of course everyone's mind probably went to, oh shit, like Paper Mario, collection, or maybe a new Paper Mario teaser or something. And it's Puzzle and Dragons.
April Fools!
Come on, that doesn't count.
What's funny is I was
RPG.
wondering that too. Like, where are they going with this? And Derek immediately pegged it as a Puzzle and Dragons. He knew right away.
For some reason, Paper Mario didn't come to my head. I was like, I know Puzzles and Dragons is coming up. That's what I immediately thought of when they were talking about this, especially when they said a 2-pack. I'm like, oh, Puzzles and Dragons. I mean, and it's not that I have no interest in the game. I think that game has it could be a lot of fun, and there's going to be a ton of content in there for just $30. I mean, there's a ton there. But no, I never thought they were talking about Paper Mario there. Which is kind of surprising to me.
I just thought the way that I feel like he could not have presented that in a more trollish way. Like, I mean, because I don't mean to sell the Puzzle and Dragon games short. I'm sure they're great, but when I think of a full-length Mario RPG, I don't think of Puzzle and Dragons Mario Edition.
Yep, that's kind of true.
The other thing that I think maybe was maybe unintentionally trolling for some was that we finally got new information and footage of Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. But I don't think it was what a lot of people might have expected.
No.
At all. It's got a really modern kind of J-poppy bubblegummy vibe to it that I think a lot of people are going to be upset with. Personally, I love it. I think it looks super cool, but
I don't think maybe the Fire Emblem fans will be upset with it. I'm not sure about that, because
that's what I mean. Yeah.
When I was watching it, I mean, like I said in the beginning, I thought this was this is Fire Emblem Cross Shin Megami Tensei or whatever, and then they started showing all the modern day settings and the characters, and the battle system seemed very much like Persona. So I'm like, is Wii U getting an exclusive Persona game? That's where my mind was starting to lead. And so maybe what they're going with as far as their crossover is these original characters and original story, but the personas, for lack of a better term, are going to be the Fire Emblem characters or something to do with that way. Because I was also expecting it to be a turn-based strategy game, and that doesn't seem to be the case at all. So this is definitely just it seems to be just a regular RPG with Fire Emblem characters interlaced with it, which on some levels I'm kind of disappointed in, because it would have been cool to see the characters cross over, but I think it also helps the game for those not familiar with them. I mean, you can be a fan of either game, get into them, and get sort of the references you want, and
sure.
But also a completely new experience. So while I'm a little disappointed, I still feel like this is a very interesting direction, and probably has me more intrigued than if it was just a standard crossover.
Oh, me too, absolutely. I mean, I think Persona fans are going to be a lot less surprised than Fire Emblem fans. But I think a lot of traditional, Fire Emblem fans are going to be like, wait, what is this? Because even I was kind of surprised by how kind of modern day and kind of J-poppy it almost was. All the dancing and singing, and like I said, again, I love that stuff. I think it's kind of interesting, and it's a cool direction for this project to take. I just don't think it was what a lot of people might have been expecting.
Mm-hmm. All right, do you guys have any final thoughts or anything else you want to mention before we wrap it up here?
I guess the only thing to mention is that, and the funny thing is, I didn't even realize it until we were in the process of uploading all the high quality trailers. Star Fox was not shown at all.
Yeah, and that's basically what I expected.
Yeah.
It's definitely at this point being saved for an E3 reveal. But I thought we might get at least a little tease or something of that effect. But nope, nothing from Star Fox at all.
I mean, if anything, I think the fact that we didn't see it is maybe good news that they are making it a big game. Like, they do want to have a big reveal at E3 for it.
Yeah.
So I'm more excited now to see what it is, because it seems like, in these directs, they quite often announce, smaller scale titles. Like today, we got 2 or 3, maybe even more than that, different smaller titles. So I'm guessing they'll bring out the big guns at E3, and that's where we're going to see Star Fox. So
yeah.
Yeah, I always felt that Star Fox was more of an E3 game myself, but what I am actually very surprised we didn't see anything of was Xenoblade Chronicles X.
That's true.
That really shocks me. I thought we'd at least get a new trailer or maybe something, but now I'm thinking, because we didn't see it, we're probably going to get probably a full-length dedicated Xenoblade Direct.
That would make sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, they've got a lot to talk about if they didn't show anything in this Direct, and they didn't.
Yeah, one thing is clear, though. We have a lot of work ahead of us.
That is
Thank God there's
sure.
nothing coming out in April.
Yeah, right, no kidding. Alright, well, I think that wraps up for us here, guys, so thanks for watching. If you liked our discussion, make sure to like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain, which you can find links to in the description below. It's a good way to keep up to date on everything we post. And of course, keep an eye on GameXplain.com for lots more on all the games covered here. We'll be having in-depth analysis and more discussions on each individual game coming up very soon. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.